People are driving to Wilmington, North Carolina right now, not for a concert, not for a sports event, to stand outside a film set. The Summer I Turned Pretty started filming its movie on April 27, 2026, and within days, fans had figured out the location, shared it online, and started showing up in person to catch a glimpse of the cast filming. So many people turned up that Amazon Prime Video had to issue an official statement. "We love the excitement," it said, "but sharing locations and visiting set disrupts filming and creates real safety concerns for our cast and crew." They posted a video with the words, "Privacy please," written in the sand. People are driving to a film set in North Carolina for a love triangle between two brothers in a beach town called Cousins. And I do not say that to be dismissive. I say it because I think it is genuinely fascinating. Because this is not the behavior of people who casually like a show. This is the behavior of people who are emotionally invested in a story in a way that has leaked out of the screen and into their real lives. And that does not happen by accident. So today's question is not Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah. Today's question is, what is it about this particular love triangle that makes people go this far? What does The Summer I Turned Pretty understand about human emotion and romantic storytelling that most shows do not? And why, even after Belly made her choice at the end of season 3, are we still arguing about it? Let's talk about it. First, some context, because not everyone watching this has seen the show. And honestly, if you haven't, these numbers might convince you. The Summer I Turned Pretty is based on a novel trilogy by Jenny Han, first published in 2009. The Amazon Prime Video adaptation premiered in June 2022. It follows Belly Conklin, played by Lola Tung, a teenage girl who has spent every summer of her life at a beach house called Cousins, with her family and the Fisher family next door, and every summer she has been caught between the two Fisher brothers. Conrad, played by Christopher Breeny, the older one, brooding, complicated, the one she has loved since she was a child. And Jeremiah, played by Gavin Casalegno, the younger one, warm, charming, easy, the one who has always been right there. Season 3, the final season, premiered on July 16, 2025, and attracted 25 million viewers globally in its first 7 days. Over the course of its run, it hit 70 million viewers in 70 days, a 65% jump over Season 2, and 3 times the audience of Season 1. It was Amazon Prime Video's most watched season of television ever among women aged 18 to 34. It was the #1 title globally on Prime Video throughout its entire run, and reached #1 in more than 140 countries. Among those 70 million viewers, 60% were outside the United States, with particularly strong viewership in the UK, Germany, and Brazil. Season 3 also generated 915 million social media engagements, 48 billion impressions, 2.8 billion views. The music featured in the show saw a 4,500% increase in streaming and a 41,200% increase in sales. That last number is not a typo. On September 17, 2025, the day the series finale dropped, Amazon announced that the story would not end there. A feature film would follow, directed and co-written by Jenny Han herself, continuing directly from where Season 3 left off. It started filming in Wilmington, North Carolina on April 27, 2026. It does not have a confirmed release date, and Jenny Han has confirmed it will not be out in 2026. So why are fans already at the set? Because they have been waiting for this story for a long time, because they are deeply, specifically, personally invested in what happens next. And because that investment did not start with the show, it started with the love triangle. Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah. Let's actually talk about the debate. Because to understand why The Summer I Turned Pretty has the fandom it has, you need to understand what Conrad and Jeremiah actually represent. Not just as characters, but as emotional archetypes. Conrad Fisher is what fans affectionately call Connie Baby. He is the childhood love, the one Belly has always wanted and could never quite reach. He is complicated and he withholds, and he has genuine personal flaws. He spent years pushing Belly away while clearly still being in love with her. He carries the grief of his mother's illness in a way he doesn't always know how to communicate. By Season 3, he is attending therapy studying at Stanford Medical Center and has done what the show describes as genuine personal work. He is, in the framework of the series, a man who knows how to love her and is finally becoming someone who knows how to show it. Jeremiah Fisher is warm, immediately lovable, and was by Season 2 engaged to Belly. He is the one who is always present, always attentive, always saying the right thing. He is the definition of the person who shows up. The problem, and it is a significant problem, is that in season 3, Jeremiah cheated on Belly during a spring break trip to Cabo, and then shortly after she found out, he proposed to her. He also, in a scene that became a genuinely viral meme, extensively explained to her how to make a chocolate mirror glaze cake in a moment that fans interpreted as deeply patronizing. And here's the thing that makes the debate genuinely interesting rather than just a simple good guy versus bad guy story. Jeremiah's fans are not wrong. Before the cheating, before the glaze, before season 3, Jeremiah was a legitimate and even compelling argument. He was consistent, he was emotionally available, he was the one who was there. The case for him was real, and millions of viewers felt it. The season 3 writers made a decision to write Jeremiah in a way that made Belly's eventual choice of Conrad feel earned and justified, which is entirely valid storytelling. But it also meant that a large portion of the audience who had spent 2 seasons falling for Jeremiah felt that their team had been written out rather than competed out. And that feeling of having your investment dismissed by the narrative is one of the strongest emotional responses a fandom can have. So Team Conrad won the story. But Team Jeremiah won a significant portion of the internet. And that tension between what the narrative decided and what the audience felt is exactly why people are still arguing about it in 2026. Why do love triangles make us lose our minds?
Have you watched The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Of course, yes.
And I have to ask, Team Conrad or?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're right. Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Have you discussed it with Jenny?
Yeah, so we had dinner like a week ago, and I even asked her, I said, are you Team Conrad or
You asked her?
I had to.
Yes.
I mean, everybody has the same question, right?
Yes.
And she said they're all like her children.
Oh,
and
please.
She loves them all equally.
Come on. It's Conrad. Give me a break. Come on.
The Summer I Turned Pretty did not invent the love triangle, but it arrived at exactly the right cultural moment to become the dominant one of its era. And to understand why it landed so hard, it helps to understand the template it was built on. Team Edward or Team Jacob. If you were anywhere near pop culture between 2008 and 2012, you did not escape this question. The Twilight saga, based on Stephenie Meyer's novels and adapted into 4 films by Summit Entertainment, built the most commercially successful love triangle in recent entertainment history. The film series earned $3.4 billion at the worldwide box office. Forks, Washington, the fictional setting, saw tourism go from roughly 5,000 visitors a year in 2004 to nearly 73,000 at its peak in 2010, directly tied to the Twilight phenomenon. And here is something fascinating. In a 2026 Canal Plus interview, Robert Pattinson, who played Edward, was asked the Team Edward or Team Jacob question alongside the drama co-star Zendaya. His response was that it was just a marketing thing.
Am I Team Jacob? No one's Team Jacob. That was just a marketing thing.
We all know where your heart is. I was Team Jacob, sorry. Wow.
That's crazy.
Summit Entertainment, the studio behind the films, had deliberately escalated the Team Edward versus Team Jacob, framing at exactly the peak of the love triangle's tension in the story, using the physical appeal of both leads in their own words to drive fan war and therefore fan engagement. It was, as Pattinson framed it, a strategy, which does not mean the feelings were not real. They were very real. The strategy worked because the emotional raw material was already there in the story. The marketing amplified what the narrative had built. The same framework applies to The Summer I Turned Pretty. And it turns out there is actually a name for the kind of love triangle it is. A YouTuber and media analyst named Lindsay Young identified 2 main love triangle frameworks in storytelling. The first she calls the leapfrog. The protagonist starts with one love interest, then a second arrives and takes them on a journey, and they end up with the second. Examples include The Hunger Games, The Vampire Diaries, and The Selection. The second framework she calls the stepping stone. The protagonist faces various obstacles to get to their first love, one of those obstacles being the second love interest, and ultimately returns to the first. Examples include Twilight, Gilmore Girls, and The Summer I Turned Pretty. The stepping stone triangle is interesting because it almost always makes the outcome legible from early on. The Summer I Turned Pretty was always going to end with Conrad. The books ended with Conrad. The The show, as multiple analysts have noted, skews its production and writing toward Conrad throughout. He gets more screen time, more emotional depth, more narrative grace. As one piece of academic analysis put it, this is an isosceles triangle. 2 of the 3 vertices are noticeably closer together than the third. There is one more dimension of the summer I turned pretty phenomenon worth discussing, which is the machine built around it. Because Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah was not just an organic fan debate, it was also, very deliberately, a brand strategy. American Eagle launched a limited edition clothing collection inspired by the show. Catbird, a Brooklyn-based jewelry brand, created a Love Not Gold Infinity charm directly referencing Belly and Conrad's Infinity Necklace storyline from the show. Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish produced limited edition packs specifically labeled Team Conrad and Team Jeremiah, letting fans express their allegiance through what they put in their mouths. This is not coincidence. This is a self-sustaining ecosystem where the emotional investment the show generates converts directly into commercial activity, and the commercial activity reinforces the emotional investment. The more you see Team Conrad on a bag of sour candies, the more the choice feels real and important and worth arguing about. The more you argue, the more the show stays in cultural conversation. The more it stays in cultural conversation, the more Amazon can sell. Very Magazine's analysis of the summer I turned pretty phenomenon put it plainly. Amazon turned every plot twist into shareable clips, every outfit into a shopping opportunity, and every episode into a week-long event. The real winner of Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah, they argued, was Amazon's marketing team. But here's where I would push back slightly on that framing. The marketing team can amplify a fandom. They cannot create one. Sour Patch Kids did not make 70 million people watch Season 3. The story did, the characters did, the specific and painful and very human feeling of wanting something you are not sure you can have, and watching someone else navigate that same feeling did. The brands just turned up for the party after the crowd was already there. So, back to the people driving to Wilmington, North Carolina. They are not there because of the marketing. They are not there because of the Sour Patch Kids. They are there because Jenny Han wrote a story that made them feel something specific and true about what it is like to love someone before you are ready to love them, or to be loved by someone who is right there and available and kind, while the person you actually want keeps getting in his own way. They are there because Conrad did the dishes in a way that broke the internet, because Jeremiah said the wrong thing at the worst moment, because Belly's choice, even though the books told us what it would be, still felt like a real choice when it arrived on screen, and because a feature film means the story's not over yet. The Summer I Turned Pretty works because it understands something fundamental about why love triangles grip us. It is not really about who is better, it is about what each choice says about who you are and what you believe love should feel like. Team Conrad says, I believe in complicated people who do the work and show up eventually. Team Jeremiah says, I believe the person who is always there deserves to win. Both of those are real things people believe. And stories that make a whole room feel both things at once are rare and worth paying attention to. The movie does not have a release date yet, but the fans are already at the set. So I think we know how this is going to go. And whenever it comes out, I will be here to talk about it.